How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the whole kerfuffle surrounding Kanye West and Candace Owens. Now, before we get into all the reactions to this, because there have been a lot of reactions, celebrities have been triggered, regular normies have been triggered, some of the news media have been triggered. Everybody's really incensed by this. Some are empowered, which is a good thing. Before we get into all of that, I need to explain what happened. Now, Kanye West, many of you already know who that is, a very famous rapper. He's involved with the Kardashians. He's married to Kim Kardashian. I think they have 2 children together. There was even a hint that he might run for president in 2020. Hopefully he does not do that. I do not want to see a Kardashian as a first lady, but I digress. He put out a tweet, which I'll place on the screen before you, which says, "I like the way that Candace Owens stinks." Now, there's a specific clip of Candace Owens that he may have been watching to prompt him saying what he said. And I'll go ahead and play that now. Then I'll come back and I'll finish explaining the story.
What you're seeing happening today, obviously we have some black people that are just shouting in the back. We have some black people that are sitting in the front quietly, that are chanting USA and having a normal conversation. I love that, because what I say every single time, and you may have seen me on the news, is that what is happening right now in the black community, you're going to hear it in this room first. There is an ideological civil war happening. Black people that are focused on their past and shouting about slavery, and black people that are focused on their futures, okay? That's really what it comes down to, okay? I can guarantee you what you're seeing happening is victim mentality versus victor mentality.
That's
and I promise
great,
you,
by the way.
the people here are going to win.
I love that.
And there's no doubt in my mind. I can tell you right now who is going to be better off when we look 20 years, when we look at the faces in this room. Who is going to be better off are the girls that are sitting right here and across this room, because they don't have your mentality. Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which, by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents did. And it's embarrassing that you utilize their history. You utilize their history, and you come in here with more emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. More emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. It's embarrassing. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans.
Okay, so you see that. So now you kind of see where this is going. Candace Owens obviously is a black female conservative, and a lot of people don't like that. And she's very young as well. She's like 23, 24, very young. People don't like that. A lot of celebrities don't like that. But before we get into the celebrity reactions, I need to explain a little bit more about who Candace Owens is and why she is popular right now today. Now, she started on YouTube as a conservative as Red Pill Black. That was her pseudonym before she started going by Candace Owens more. So many of us in the conservative sphere online, we knew her first as Red Pill Black, then as Candace Owens. So she gained a lot of popularity very quick. She went from basically 0 to like 10 million almost like overnight. It was a meteoric rise to success. She had a game plan as to how she was going to go about doing it. And a lot of us on the conservative side say, hey, let's raise some red flags here. What's going on? How did she rise so quickly? Let's look into her past and see what's really going on. And then we found out this website called Social Autopsy, which she was a part of. There was a whole big video of her promoting it. She did a TED talk and the whole 9 yards before she became Real Pill Black, and way before she became known as Candace Owens, a conservative activist, so to speak. The website Social Autopsy was a place where online bullies were to be, I guess, indexed by their name, picture, telephone number, place of business, etc. It was supposed to be a place of people that were accused of online bullying would get put. So I don't know, it would be accessible by their parents, potential employers, or whatnot. But obviously there's a big problem with that. If anybody can get put on it without any kind of trial, without any kind of conviction to say, hey, this person did do this, you could pretty much put anybody on there. It can become a doxing website. So that was a whole big drama. I don't even want to go down that road, but a lot of people on the right were kind of turned off, and that energy had been put out there. So people have been calling her a fraud, all this, that, and the third. Now, me personally, I was watching the whole thing go down. I did not like the way she handled it. If that was me and that was part of my more recent past, I would have handled it with much more, what's the word I'm looking for? With much more humility. I wouldn't have been so aggressive like the way that she was, but apparently it's worked for her, and she's been able to go out there in front of people and talk and become director or communications director of Turning Point USA, which is founded by Charlie Kirk. She's been able to do a lot of different things. I think Brandon Tatum was also on Turning Point USA, so they've got a pretty good thing going with that, and she has a pretty good brand going as Candace Owens, aka Red Pill Black, formerly of Social Autopsy. So that's who she is, and that's how we've gotten here today. And that's why she's so popular, to the point where Kanye West would see her work and appreciate it. Now, let's get to the liberal reactions. This has been really gold, and it really kind of explains why I left the Democratic plantation a long time ago. Look at how they treat you if you think differently than they do. They want to be all for inclusion. They want to have, everybody's welcome, all this, that, and the third. They have all these signs everywhere, the rainbow flag, everyone's included. Only if you think the way they do. They want you to look different, maybe have different sexual preferences or whatever, but when it comes to the political ideology, the core essence of what they think, then that must always be the same. It can never be any different at all, and it's really a crying shame. But the reactions, you're talking about Paris Hilton, the Hispanic, white, whatever blogger, went after her, talking about, oh, this is Kanye West's favorite thing here, using air quotes, kind of like disrespecting her. You had Tom Arnold. I'll place a tweet on the screen before you. This is NSFW, so don't let your boss see it. But this pretty much explains what's going on. He's telling her some sexual stuff, almost some sexual harassment stuff, because of how she thinks. And then you had the infamous white man pretending to be a black man. And as a side note, before I get into what he said, how is anybody thinking that this guy is actually black? I mean, this dude is white as snow. You're talking about Snow White powder. I mean, he's white. This dude, like he came from Ireland or Sweden or something yesterday. He is not black at all. That's like me calling myself white. My great grandfather might have been mixed with black and white. That don't make me white. I'm obviously black. Now, I don't think he has any black in his family at all. This dude is pure ethnic white, 100% through and through. If you saw him in person, if you saw him juxtaposed to another white person, you could see it. But this dude is white. So here's another white guy trying to tell a black person how to live while pretending to be black. You can't make it up. Talking about, oh, well, she says Black Lives Matter doesn't matter. Here's why we say Black Lives Matter, trying to put himself into the black community. It's weird how the black community will accept people who come from whatever type of walk of life and don't question it. I'll be talking about that when I'm in DC this Friday, April 27, 2018. At Uznar's restaurant. I'll link to that in the box below if you want to come get your tickets. They're free. You can donate, do all that kind of good stuff to help them out. But I'll be there talking about stuff like this, but I'll move on. Now, you also had, who is that? Bakari Sellers. I think he's some kind of congressman or something from South Carolina. He was talking about Kanye West, just looking down on him. Like, this says more about you than it says about her and all this and that. You had Don Cheadle, the actor who was on Grey's Anatomy, who got canned from Grey's Anatomy, ironically, because of the liberal establishment going against him, because I think he said something about the LGBT community, and that was enough to get him canned. Now, here he is talking to Candace Owens, talking about, oh, well, you don't have to be one of the good ones, all this, that, trying to, I guess, insinuate that she's putting down other blacks that don't behave in the proper way. I guess referring to when black people are accused of behaving properly to impress white people, which doesn't make any sense. I'm not thinking about anybody of any other race when I behave properly. I'm thinking about myself and my behavior, not what others will think about my behavior. If I'm worried about what other people think when I'm out here just living my daily life, then something is wrong. I need to behave properly because that's the right thing to do, not because another person that I don't even know will approve or disapprove. But I digress. The reactions have been wide sweeping all over the internet's regular normies have been coming against her. They're coming against Kanye West. But one thing I'll say as I close is that regardless of what you think about Candace Owens, Red Pill Black, or whatever you know her as, I think that her talking points resonate with a lot of people. And I think we should support these points. That's just really the bottom line. We should support Kanye West as well, because he was a guy that went out there, jumped out the window, because you know you part of Hollywood, you're part of the entertainment industry. Being a so-called Trump supporter, which at this point, like I've said before, is a pejorative term. Being a so-called Trump supporter is like having the mark of the beast on your forehead. It's really a death sentence. And Shania Twain found out the hard way that you can't just support Trump openly like that. She came out and said that she would have voted for Trump if she could have, because she's a Canadian citizen and also a Swiss citizen, not an American. But if she could have voted for him in 2016, she would have. But then she got a crazy backlash and came out with a series of tweets apologizing for it. So she saw what happens when you support Trump openly. Kanye West has supported Trump on numerous occasions, been to the White House, supported conservative people. So people like that, we should really support and appreciate what they're doing, even if we don't necessarily like them as a person. That's just my opinion. So what do you think? Do you think that Candace Owens pretty much poked a hornet's nest, revealed all the liberals for who they are, revealed their motives, revealed why they are so hateful, revealed why we, when I say we, I mean those of us that used to be on the left and now on the right, she revealed why we've left? Because that kind of behavior, the disgusting tweets from Tom Arnold, the condescending stuff from Bakari Sellers and other people, I mean, I never experienced that when I was on the other side. You see, when I was on the left, fighting guys on the right in these forums and just in daily life talking to people, when I would have these battles, I would never have anything hateful or vitriolic spewed in my direction. It was me spewing it to them. Now that I look back on it, okay, all I ever got was, you know, go read a book or something like that. Educate yourself. It was not this hateful stuff. Now, am I saying that there's nobody hateful on the right? Of course not. But I'm just saying in your everyday experience as a leftist, you're not going to face the extreme hate that you're going to face if you're on the right from the left. That's just pretty much what that is. But do you think that Candace Owens does not have a point? Do you disagree with her talking points? Do you think that Kanye West is an idiot? Is he a buffoon? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.